Special is a new comedy series streaming on Netflix about Ryan, a guy finding his feet as a gay man who just so happens to have cerebral palsy. I'm Rob Licuria, senior editor at Gold Derby, with my colleague Tony Ruiz, and we are here with the show's creator and star, Ryan O'Connell. Ryan, there is nothing else like this on TV, a show that shatters stereotypes and taboos both honestly and endearingly. Is that what you set out to do when you conceived the show?
Sort of. I mean, I just was really frustrated by the lack of representation with disability, with gay stuff. Like, I don't know. It's so weird because I don't think of my life as being that unique or different. And so I just feel like there was a lot of conversations that we weren't having that I just didn't understand why. Like, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wasn't consciously like, yeah, I'm gonna like break new ground, like trailblazer, da da da. Like I just kind of wrote what I knew and like what I knew to be true, and also what I knew to be relatable, and then went from there.
So why the short format?
Oh, okay, because literally everybody passed on it, like literally everybody. And then we went to this digital branch of Warner Brothers called Stage 13, and they were doing short form content at the time. And like, honey, at that point, I would have done like 2-minute webisodes. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to make it. So that's why. And then I wrote the scripts, and then we sent them to Netflix, and they hadn't done short form before, but they really liked it. And so here we are. But for season 2, I'm not doing short form.
Oh,
ever.
good.
No,
Good.
I'm not doing that.
That's good to hear.
So sorry.
So that's how the show came about. How did Jim Parsons come on board as executive producer?
Jim's an OG. Like he came on even before my book came out. So he read a post that I had written for Thought Catalog, this blog I was writing for at the time, promoting my book, and he really liked it. And so he asked for a copy of the book before it came out because he's Jim Parsons. He got it, and I just really liked him a lot. So I just met him at his house with his husband Todd Spywak, and I don't know. We just got along really well. And then a couple other studios bid because it was like, gay, cerebral palsy, like hot new marginalized population of people. But I really, really vibed with Jim and Todd, and I just felt like they were the ones I could trust. Like, also, like their production company hadn't even really started. So my agents were just like, babe, like we don't even know, like they haven't done anything. You're their first project. But I think that's why I really liked them, is that I knew they weren't doing this just to do it. I knew that they really were passionate about it. And I mean, they literally hired an exec to do the show. So I really feel like in these cases, you really have to trust your instinct. And I just knew that Jim and Todd were in it for the right reasons rather than it being just like a chic new hot property. And yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now let's get super deep for a second, okay? Like, I remember there's a line in the show where you say something like, writing personal shit is scary, but once you own everything, nobody can take anything away from you. Is that, do you think, the crux of what you were trying to achieve here?
Yeah, I think that, being closeted about being gay till I was 17 and being closeted about my cerebral palsy till I was 28, there was a certain level of freedom I had where I was just like, well, fuck it. I'm not hiding anything anymore. I spent 28 years of my life hiding something about my identity. Like, I don't care anymore. There's something really, really freeing in that, because concealing something takes a lot of emotional energy. And I think that once you just like let it out, it truly is freeing. And I don't know. I think that that's really the only way you can go through life, is authentically. And people are really attracted to that too, because I think that everyone lives in their own little prison of like shame or anxiety. And so I think that when they see someone who doesn't give any fucks and is living their truth, I think there's something kind of envious and attractive about that.
So you come on as the writer. Did you have any doubts about starring as yourself on the show?
Duh. I had like 4,000 of them. I mean, babe, I wasn't an actor. Like, I wasn't. You know what I mean? So, like, when we fished the first one out with the show, the pitch, I wasn't attached to star, which, like, is sort of law when you actually think about it now. Like, actually, like, truly law. Like, who else would have done it? Honey, seriously. But I think that here's the deal. Now that I've had time to, like, unpack my acting journey, like, I feel like I always wanted to be an actor and I always loved to perform, but I felt like that was so crazy to want that, because number one, I didn't know of any gay disabled actors. Number two, if I was to pursue acting, what roles would I even be up for? Like, I couldn't even think about it. There was no like, seat for me at the table. So I already thought that I was wanting so much for wanting my own show and to want to write it and executive produce it and create it. I thought, oh, acting, now she's just getting greedy, you know? And so, but now that I've had time to process, I'm like, I think I just didn't give myself permission to want those things. I think as a marginalized person, you're always taught to kind of like not take up too much space. And so I thought it was obscene to want all of those things. How dare I? But now I have no qualms being the girl with the most cake.
That's nice. That's a really good way to put it. You know, the first episode sets up the premise where your character weighs up whether his CP is what he wants to define him, i.e. the main course or the appetizer. And on the other hand, it's what makes you special and it's what you should embrace. And I'm just wondering, you touched on this earlier, but when you came out as a guy with CP, what was that like for you, and what did you take from that experience in putting it into this show?
My life opened up to me in such a new, exciting way because I was allowing great things to happen to me because I was in a good place with myself. I think that, like, looking back, like, I didn't date anyone for many, many years when I was closeted about my disability. And back then I didn't have like the emotional intelligence to like connect the dots and realize that like perhaps people weren't dating me because I was just denying a fundamental part of who I was. And I think that when I came out of the disabled closet, I just had so much confidence about myself because I didn't give a shit. And it was so freeing. And then I actually like started to like actually attract guys. And it's true what they say, like confidence really does go a long way. So, you know, it's interesting though. It's a process. Like I came out about having CP when I was 28. And I think there was like this learning curve that I had where I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm done now. Like I'm honest about who I am. Like I'm out about having CP. Like I guess I'm done. And then like I went to therapy and was like, LOL, she's not done. So I think like, I had to like process the trauma of like being closeted about my disability and like what like psychic damage that caused me, which like spoiler is a lot. And so I think that, you know, the book, I feel like only really scratched the surface of what being closeted meant because I didn't know at the time. I was so brand new. And I think that the show was a really interesting space and medium to go dive in deeper and talk about things like internalized ableism and really kind of get into what does this mean to deny this part of yourself? Like, what kind of harm does that cause you? Because again, I didn't know that when I was 28. I thought I was like kept something a secret, and then I came out about it, and then she was done. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand that she just had a lot to deal with.
Well, and it's interesting that kind of segues really nicely into, because the show is based on so much of your life. How do you, as the writer, decide what to put in and what to leave out? Or do you make that decision?
I don't. I just go where the story takes me. And I think that, like, depending on the day, I can tell you that the show is really autobiographical. It's like straight from the pages of my journal. And then other days, I'm like, I don't know this bitch at all. Like, I think it honestly, like waxes and wanes. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a very deeply personal story, absolutely. And like some things are lifted, but there's also a ton that is fictionalized. And the character of Ryan, I will say I was never that awkward. Like I didn't live home with my mom till I was 28. I didn't lose my virginity at 28 to a sex worker. I've always been like more well-adjusted than the character of Ryan. I think he's an exaggerated version of myself. So, you know, yes, it's very, very personal. But it's also a TV show. So things are fictionalized and stories go into directions that, you know, that I haven't experienced. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, and see, I mean, it makes sense that you've dialed up a lot of the experience that you've had to 11, obviously, because of it's a TV show. It's not actually a documentary. And we all go through the same journeys, right? We're all like, at some point in our life are saying, what the fuck am I doing? Or who am I? What am I here for? And so that's what I think is so relatable about this, because it's not like there's a massive audience of, you know, gay guys with CP. It's just that we all can relate to what he's going through. And okay, this is what I'm leading to. Was there anything where you got pushback from Netflix or the production company about stuff that you wanted to explore or show on the show?
Are you talking about the anal sex scene, honey?
For example.
No pushback. Here's the deal. my voice, for better or for worse, is VV specific, so you know what the fuck you're getting. There's no confusion, okay? There's no like, wait, we bought this? Like, yes, bitch, you bought it. You make it, you buy it. So I really feel like with a voice like mine, you have to just kind of be surrounded by people who get it and who want to actually just like nurture it and make it even bigger and louder. And I think that's sort of what I did. I surrounded myself with people that just understood what it was I was trying to do and in no way was trying to water it down or chop the balls off the story. Like, everyone wanted the story to have big, juicy balls, like teabag style. Like, no one wanted to give it testicular cancer. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So I was very lucky in that respect. And I think also Netflix, they're just like dream collaborators because they kind of like trust the creator. Imagine that. LOL.
Wow.
But it is medium rare in this business. So I just really lucked out by being part of a company that just let me do me and had really smart notes and really helped kind of deepen the story in certain areas. But by and large, let me have complete and creative control over it.
So I want to talk about some of the relationships on this show, particularly the one between you and Jessica Hecht, who plays your mother. How did you seek her out, and how did you guys develop that relationship? Because you guys act as much like a mother and son as a lot of people I know.
Yeah, I mean, Jessica and I are kind of like that in real life. Like, you can't really script that because she didn't audition. Like, the way Jessica came about was that Jim had done a play with her, and he floated her name. And actually, this is going to sound really bad, but I didn't really know who she was. And then High Maintenance is one of my favorite shows, and she had done an episode of that. And she actually played this helicopter mom in that episode. Granted, a very chic New York helicopter mom, but a helicopter mom. And my main thing with the character of Karen was that I did not want an actress to do the multicam version of a helicopter mom. Like, Ryan, pick up your clouds. Like, Ryan. Like, I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to create, I wanted, whoever played the role of Karen to bring nuance and depth and not make it one-dimensional and cheesy. And Jessica is just such a gifted actress. And yeah, it's weird because like we met for the first time on set, but like she's just a very like open person. Like, I mean, this is like so actory, but like I don't have any point of reference. Like the dream is, I guess, as an actor, is to work with someone who's very generous and like will meet you where you want to go. And I think with Jessica, like she just is that person. She's just naturally very open and warm. And so to get close to her is very easy breezy. So I just think that like that kind of lended itself to and I just think our dynamic is very much like she's like such a mom to me. And she like I went to her house for dinner like a couple weeks ago when I was in New York, and she's just I don't know how to explain her. I just love her. She's like so kooky and strange and such a delight. And I don't know, I think that what you see on screen is kind of similar to what's happening off screen as well.
But seriously, legit, she gives such an amazing performance in this. I think this is the best thing she's ever done. It's incredible. So all
she's great. I mean, the gays love her. The gays love like an underrated like theater actress in New York. Like, the gays,
yes, we do.
It's like heroin to the gays. They're like yeah, they just love it.
That's perfect. But I want to talk about someone else because I reckon you've totally discovered Poonam Patel. Like, she is so freaking funny. I want to see her on my TV all the time.
Oh my god!
How the hell did you get her? Well, tell me all about her.
Oh my god! Well, by the way, you will, because her series, she's in the Kenan Thompson NBC series that just got.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Great. That's good. More of her, please.
So Poonam is someone who I saw at a CBS diversity showcase many years ago. And actually, my boyfriend recommended her because he did this diversity showcase with her and was like, you should think about Poonam for Kim. And Brian Jordan Alvarez did this web series, The Gay and Wondrous Life of Caleb Gallo. And she's only in like 2 scenes, but she's truly so fucking funny that I was like, who is this genius? And then I met with her, we had lunch, and I was just like, she's this character. She's the only person out of all the characters that we didn't see anyone else. We never tested anyone else for Kim. I just met Poonam and I knew that this was her, and that was it. I mean, I love her. We've become very, very close. Actually, just got off the phone with her like 20 minutes ago. Like, I think she's a fucking star, and she's such a gifted comedian. Also, I did this thing that's very smart where I basically hired a lot of like writers and improvisers who are actors. So like some of Poonam's best lines, like she came up with. Like she's so good on the spot, and I mean, it just makes me look good. It makes my job easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just like Poonam's an improviser slash writer. Marla is an improviser slash writer who plays Olivia. Brian, who plays a sex worker, is a writer. So I try to hire as many writers and writer actors because they're just so great and they just like get it, you know?
So we know we want more Poonam next season. What kind of changes do you envision for the show going forward?
Oh my God. Okay. So the reason why I was so violently unsoothed by the 15-minute format was that you didn't have time for a C story. So I knew, you know, Ryan is the A story and Karen's the B story. And by the way, I could only make Karen's journey fleshed out by giving her all of episode 5. I knew that in order for this character to really, for you to really understand her, she couldn't be hanging out in B storyland forever. She needed to have the A story for it to really resonate. So for season 2, you know, the reason why I won't do 15-minute again is that I really want to take Kim on a real emotional arc, which I didn't get to do the first season, and it really bummed me out. I tried to give her as much as I could, but the reality was that you just didn't have time to see her outside of the lens of Ryan. So for season 2, you know, you're going to be following Karen and Ryan as usual, but you're going to also see Kim go on a real journey, which I'm excited about.
We are really excited. I'm looking forward to that. Can you hurry up and make it, please? Because
honey, your word to Netflix's ears, like, honey, like, let's get this party started.
Okay, let's see what we can do because we need more special.
Yeah, totally.
Really cool. Ryan, thanks so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Oh my God, thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it too.
Absolutely. Now, to all special fans, once you're done watching the show, go to goldderby.com, make your predictions so you can compete against our experts, editors, and other fans and prove you are the smartest in Hollywood. Click subscribe and watch all our other videos because they are all pretty much amazing.